right, are we ready, Billy? We're now joined with one of my good friends, a good friend of the pro-family and pro-life movement, and one of the finest individuals to ever serve in the U.S. Congress or the Senate, Rick Santorum. Rick, thanks for being here.
It's good to be
here. You gave quite a stem winder out there, and you've been making the case, I think very eloquently, that you were the one who, whether it was welfare reform or partial birth abortion, and frankly lots of other legislation that changed the direction of the country, you were the one that was carrying those reforms and getting them passed through Congress from a state that was fairly tough for a conservative. So, do you feel like that argument is making inroads? Or are you getting response from the voters?
Well, I got a lot of folks came up to me afterwards and said, "You got my vote here today." So hopefully,
well, there you go.
To me, it's a matter of just getting exposure. And as you know, the debates have been well. They haven't been spreading the questions around equally at the debate. And I'm hopeful that as this process continues, people will get to hear a little bit more about me and what, as you mentioned, what I was accomplished. And in the case of faith and freedom, you mentioned, welfare, you mentioned life, you mentioned marriage, you mentioned all these issues. These are all the issues that people with faith are concerned about. Not just concerned about life, which of course is foundational. They're concerned about the state of the family. They're concerned about fatherhood. They're concerned about caring for the poor. They're concerned about good stewardship of our environment. They're concerned about all of these issues. They're core issues, and then there's other issues that they're concerned. But if you look on every one of those issues, I was out there leading because I'm leading from faith convictions that I have, and I'm not afraid to go out there and say that the reason that I'm leading on these issues is because of my faith convictions and what I believe is right for this country.
Now, Rick, some people criticize conservatives. I've been criticized, I'm sure you have been, for allegedly not talking enough about the poor, not having an agenda for the poor. In fact, you worked on these issues extensively in your service in the House and the Senate. Could you just, forgive me for having to ask you to do this briefly, but lay out, what is a good conservative faith-based agenda for the poor at a time when under this president we've got more people living under poverty than ever before?
If we could do one thing to transform America from a country that is suffering from higher levels of poverty, lower standard of living among certain groups of people in this country, the one thing we could do, and it would change it overnight, would be restore marriage justice. If we restore the reason, look at the folks who are in the bottom quintiles in income in America, and you will find overwhelmingly single folks. Why? Not because single moms predominantly are not working hard and trying their best. It's harder with one than two. And marriage works because it's a gift from God, but marriage works because the word economics comes from the Greek word family. And people understood that economics don't work unless you have a strong foundation of a family. So for me, a great policy to start to build from. I wrote a book back in 2005 called It Takes a Family. It's 420 pages of policies to help support the family, to help get faith communities involved in supporting families and those in need. We do that, you will start to see a transformation from the bottom up in America.
Well, Rick, you've been a great friend of this organization. Our organization in Pennsylvania was really started with Rick's support. He's been a good friend of mine and a great friend of not only Faith and Freedom, but of Faith and Freedom Coalition. He's been at all of our events in Iowa, in Florida, and South Carolina. So, Rick, we're honored to call you a friend and a champion. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Ralph.
Yeah, you bet.
You guys got to keep